It's been the practice for a number of years for Archbishops of Canterbury to commend a book for reading and for study during the season of Lent. This year, Archbishop Justin has gone one step further and he's written the book. It's called Dethroning Mammon, and it's well worth reading. It's already excited quite a lot of interest. For example, Radio 4 gave over almost the whole of one of the World at One programmes to a discussion between Archbishop Justin and Mark Carney, the Governor of the Bank of England, based around some of the themes of the book. And it's providing the framework for the Sunday service on Radio 4 each Sunday morning through Lent, one of those from our own cathedral here in Rochester. In this book, Archbishop Justin is concerned about the contrast between the distinction, division even, between Christ and Mammon. Christ who brings freedom, and Mammon who enslaves, that image from the Gospels especially about that which comes to control our lives and which is given that name Mammon. In the book he's reflecting on that contrast, and he's looking at some of the issues in our society, particularly around money and things associated with money. Issues which he's actually been reflecting on in various ways since he became our Archbishop. Things to do with credit and debt, things to do with how the economic system, which has great potential for good and for creativity, can also become an instrument of enslavement of people, their captivity, their control. He raises the underlying question of what we value, what we believe to have worth. And he asks that question quite pointedly in the book. What is it that I value? To what do I ascribe value or worth? He refers to that parable of the pearl of great price, where the merchant will give everything that he possibly can, everything that he has, in order to buy the pearl of pearls, in order to buy the pearl which is of ultimate value, which is completely without parallel. Perhaps the traditional interpretation of that parable is that we are in some sense the merchant. We are those who are called upon to give whatever it takes, to enter into the kingdom of God, to discover the pearl of great price, the pearl which is of such ultimate value that it's worth anything that we can give in order to acquire it. Archbishop Justin, interestingly, raises another possibility for the interpretation of that parable. He asks whether the merchant might in fact be God. God who is prepared to give everything for us because he values us so much. We are of such value in the sight of God. It's an interesting alternative way of looking at it, and encourages us, of course, then to see ourselves and other people as having ultimate value, because that's what God gives to us if he is willing to give everything as he does in Jesus Christ. For us, for our well-being, for our salvation, for our eternity. Archbishop Justin's book and his reflections raises the question of what do we value? To what do I give worth? And how does that shape my life in different ways? For example, we have a tendency to give value to things that we can see, to things which are tangible, to things which are material, and things associated with that. So to achievement, to success, for example, to certain kinds of experience, as well as to possessions and indeed, of course, to money. So the question that arises out of this, and which Archbishop Justin places before us fairly firmly, is what do I value? To what do I give my time and energy? What do I invest in? What do I allow to control and shape my life, my existence, my decision-making, my priorities? If I'm honest before God and before myself, am I actually really not much different to those who are next door to me who don't necessarily subscribe to the Christian faith? Am I distinguishable from those others who are shaped by our culture and by our norms? Or actually, do I allow, in some real sense, my faith, my belief in God, to be that which gives me my sense of value? As we journey through this season of Lent, some of you may well be using our diocesan Lent course, A Place in the Crowd. But even if you are doing that, can I encourage you also to get hold of a copy of Archbishop Justin's book and read it, and allow yourself to reflect on these really deep questions of what it is that is at the heart of our existence, what controls us, what shapes us individually and together. And may this season of Lent for you be a time of fruitfulness as you deepen your relationship with God and strengthen your commitment to walk in God's ways.